Good morning, my friends. It is September the 24th, and it is a Monday. My daughter's going to have surgery about 10 o'clock this morning, so I am going to do the lesson using a video lesson. This is going to be so much fun because I am currently talking to no one, even though it's talking to you. This week, we're going to do LCM and GCF, meaning very small topics that are also review, should be from probably about 5th grade, if not 4th. And then as the week rolls on, Wednesday we will do a study guide for the 9 weeks test. Thursday we will go over the study guide, and then Friday is the 9 weeks test. The 9 weeks test is 100 points. It covers everything we've done this year because it's the first 9 weeks. But the good thing to me is it is multiple choice, meaning A, B, C, or D answers. Okay. As for last Friday's test, I am taking it with me today. I'm going to look at grading it and all that. If you did not finish it, then we will work on it tomorrow. I should be back Tuesday if everything goes as planned, so that will be nice. Okay. So we're starting out with LCM and GCF today. First off, we got to fill in the vocab words. Starting out with LCM, and I'm reading it right out of the book. It says the least common multiple of the denominators of 2 or more fractions. We definitely use LCM to find our least common multiple or our common denominator. Okay. Greatest common factor. Of course, it's not in the book. I will fill that one in probably at the end of the lesson. Does mean greatest common factor. It is the greatest number in a list of factors between the two. Okay. Let's start with, I'm going to skip this definition for right now. I'll come back to it at the end of the lesson. If not, I'll fill it in tomorrow with you. Okay. But looking at finding the GCF of each set of numbers. When you are finding the GCF of a set of numbers, you are trying to think of all the multiplication tables between the numbers, and you want to find the greatest one they have in common. So, when I do this is the way I do it. I take the number 12, and I'm going to think of all the multiplication tables it has. It has 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Now I'm going to take 66. I'm going to make its list of multiplication tables. 1 times 66, 2 times 33, 3 times 22, 6 times 11. I do want to show you a trick. If you will go in order, once I made it to the 3 and 4 is on this right side, it's kind of like my brain is going to that side. That means if 5 had been a factor, it would have fit right there. If 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 had been a factor, it would be right there. If you do it in order, you usually make sure like you're more likely to find all the factors. So like this one, I did my 1, 2, 3. In my 4 and 5, I did my brain. It didn't work. 6, and then I start trying 7, 8, 9, 10, and once I reach 11, it's on that side. That means I have them all, as long as you didn't skip any. Okay. Then you're looking for your greatest, the biggest one they have in common. Well, 12 isn't over here. 6, it is 6. My greatest common factor between the two numbers. Now, some of them are obvious, some you kind of have to list out. I need to see the two lists of the numbers. Kind of checking to see if you know your multiplication tables or not. Okay? So let's do number 2. I've got the number 32. So I got 1 times 32, 2 times 16, 4 times 8. I'm testing 5, I'm testing 6, I'm testing 7. There's my 8, which means I'm done on that side. I can do 48. I got 1 times 48, 2 times 24, 3 times 16, 4 times 12. I test 5, 6 times 8 is 48, and then 7, and then once I reach 8, if it's on that side, I'm good. So I should have all the factors listed. Now I kind of look, the greatest one they have in common. That one is 16. Greatest common factor for those two numbers is 16. That's why listing them helps, because you may not catch the greatest one if you don't list them all out. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is find the LCM. LCM stands for least common multiple. This one I think of as skip counting. So if I skip count by 2 and I skip count by 6, you want the lowest one they have in common. 6 happens to be the lowest one. So this LCM is 6. What that means is if you had a fraction, let's say you had something like 1/2 plus 2/6, you would want that common denominator on the bottom to be a 6. That's where we use LCM. GCF, greatest common factor, goes with simplifying. Simplifying. So like if you had fractions with 32 and 48, or 32 48s, we know that 16 can go into it. That's where this works, is simplifying fractions. Okay. It's early in the morning, so my brain's still trying to pick all this out. We got 4, so if I skip count by 4s, and I skip count by 5s, and I skip count by 10s, the first one that I touch, the least common multiple is 20. Okay. And number 3 here, I've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm just going to keep checking it here. 7, 14. I'm seeing 7 is probably my weirdest one, because I know that the first digit that is going to end for that number with a 5 number is going to be 35. I know that 5 will reach 35, but will 3? No, 3 would end up being 30. So if I kept going with this one, I would eventually get, let me think of how to word this. Let's see. If I kept going, 18, 21. I'm going to kind of continue it down here. Okay, which might need more room. Okay, so after 21 would be 24, 27, and 30. 5 will reach 30. But 7 was reaching 35. Okay, so I got a problem. 2 30s and 35, nothing's matching up, so we got to keep going. What that means is 2 35s is going to reach 70. 5 would reach 70. And then, let's see, this would be 70. This would reach 70. I'm having to just mess with this one. This one's tough. But this would reach 69. So if I added 35 more, it would be 105. Honestly, I'm thinking we either made this one wrong or we were trying to just go on forever. 140, 140. I'm going to have to test 140 with division. 140 divided by 3. 3 times 4 is 12. That wouldn't work. I'm going to scratch this one out. To be honest, it is 6 o'clock in the morning, and either I've messed it up but I do, like, it may be, obviously it's probably got one. It is just way on up there. I'm going to scratch out number 3. I wish I could back up the video. We will not do one that just keeps going on forever. Usually if you have doubled a number is when you would hit it, but this one didn't work. So I'm going to just kind of scratch this one out. If I find an answer to it, I'll let you know. Okay. These two should definitely be what I'm going to call doable in my weird language, but these two should be doable. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is, on the back, you are going to find the GCF on this side, and then the LCM on this side. I'm going to do 1 or 2 of each, probably about 1 of each, because they're not too hard. And then I'll kind of let you loose on it. So, for greatest common factor, 16 and 12. I took 16, and I'm just going to list them. 1 times 16, 2 times 8, 4 times 4, and yes, you have to list all the factors. That's kind of like the math behind it. Then I'm going to take 12. I'll do 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Okay, I have them all listed, and it looks like 4 is the GCF. You have to show these multiplication tables. Have to. That's kind of like the work behind it. Now I'm going to go over and do 1 of the LCM. Okay. Least common multiple. This one's kind of interesting. If I skip count by 15s, I'm looking for something that 8 would match up with. Okay, I know 8 won't do 15 because 2 8s are 16. 24 won't work because then it goes 32. Then it goes 40, and 40's not up here. 48. Then 56. I'm sitting here trying. Let's see. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 9 is 72. 8 times 10 is 80. 8 times 11 is 88. So I'm just sitting here thinking 60. 75 is not up here. Excuse me. 90. Interesting. 105. I'm going to add a few more down here. 96. I think it goes to 104. Try to make sure I didn't skip it. Let's see, 105. And then 120. Let's see if Miss Sawyer knows the answer, because I am sitting here stumbling, and it is 6:30 in the morning, and I am recording. But I did this one the other day, and I can't remember the. It must be. Is it 120? Yeah, it might be. Let's see, 8. 116. So 8 times 15 would be the easiest way to do this one.
Looks like it.
When you have gotten this far into numbers, and if they are not matching up, and I could be off on my counting. It is 6:30 in the morning. 104. Okay, after reconvening and figuring this all out. Okay, I'm going to go, let's see, we were on the back. We were giggling because Miss Sawyer, we made this little study guide, and we were skip counting by 15s, and we were skip counting by 8s, and I kept going, and I was thinking 120 is the answer. Wasn't real sure. She hit the pause button because she didn't think I was doing this right, kind of meaning my numbers were off, but they were actually right. My next number after 104 would be 112, and if I added 8 to that, it would be 120. So my least common multiple is not very least, meaning it's very large, it seems like, but it is 120. Now, one of the tricks for least common multiple, if you're getting this high up, you can multiply 8 times 15 and see what you get, because that should be, 8 times 15 is 120. Okay? Now, for number 2, 30 and 5, I'm just going to do it right here. I think I can fit it if you just kind of watch. 30, 60, but 5, if I skip count by 5, 15, 20, 25, 30. So my least common multiple for 30 and 5 is 30. Guys, you have to show the work of the skip counting in order to get credit. Okay, most of them aren't that long. That's just that one, to be honest. Okay, going back to my definition, so you are to finish, just so you can see, finish all of these 1 through 10 on the LCM side, and then the GCF, we're finishing through 9 there. Okay, that is your homework, classwork. Finish that. Okay, hopefully just classwork. Shouldn't take that long. And then real quick, flip it over. I got a definition for GCF, finally. Here we go. GCF definition. The greatest factor two or more numbers have in common. That factor, that multiplication table. Okay, so tonight's homework is to finish the back of this GCF and LCM. Then on Tuesday, we will hopefully, if anybody didn't finish the test, we'll finish it up. And Wednesday, start the study guide. Okay, plan on being back Tuesday. See y'all Tuesday.